What's up, everyone? Welcome to the 587th episode of the Pokemon Podcast. It's super effective. I'm your host, Steve. With me is Hannah.
I still have a sprained ankle, so I just played Timber Community Day from home.
Against Niantic's wishes, I'm turning you over to the Go Bleep.
It worked pretty well. It worked pretty well. I have a home stop, so I put on an incense, I put on a lure, I put on a star piece. All of the timber were weather boosted. It worked pretty darn well.
Niantic furious that you did not walk the required walking.
Trust me, I tried to walk on Friday, and then it hurt more.
I'm having your account.
That was a bad idea.
Greg also here. Greg and I did Community Day together.
We did. We went to the Smell of America and walked around inside and listened to the sweet song stylings of Autumn Soul, a band that I have never heard of until today.
The whole mall heard of them.
The whole mall heard Autumn Soul today because you could not avoid it when you're on that side of the acoustics of Mall of America are awful. And I cannot imagine being a band trying to play in that rotunda because the echo is so bad. You're also in front of two roller coasters.
A lot of competition. A lot of competition in that mall.
To the whole aspect of putting out a performance. But that crowd, the people who were there were into it. We're a Minnesota crowd. I mean, you gotta kind of lower your expectations for the crowd. We aren't standing. And we sure as heck aren't dancing unless we have to.
A Minnesota crowd in a mall.
In a mall.
That aspect probably applies as well.
Yeah.
You get everything. We got everything in the show for you today. We got a lot of different news, a lot of little news. But look, we can talk 5 hours, but I have to do a hard cutoff because it's late and I'm the one that has to edit this, so as much as I would like a 5-hour show every week, we gotta make do here. Let's do our 9-week Pokemon sleep check-in. I don't know how many it's been.
I hit the button.
Mm-hmm.
You hit the buttons.
I didn't one night. I finally missed one night, and I didn't have the free trial to go back and put in the hours. I was too tired. I forgot.
Now burn it. Delete the app.
I'm continuing. I am going slowly because I'm trying to evolve my shiny Riolu, and it's not a great Pokemon for any of the Snorlaxes.
Yeah. I have a shiny Chikorita that I'm using. Why? I have a shiny Arcanine. I also have a shiny Squirtle. Am I using them? No. Should I?
Squirtle's good.
Squirtle's
like
good.
One of the best Pokemon.
Yeah, the Squirtle line is great.
Squirtle loves milk. You want milk? Squirtle will get it for you. Lactose intolerant? No deal.
I did not know that about the Squirtle line. They should put that in Bulbapedia. Loves milk. Watch out, Miltank. You're going to have a Squirtle attack.
Yeah, I think like Ghastly, Squirtle, and Caterpie are like some of the best. Like,
I have
really
a Butterfree
early Pokemon you can get.
I could swap. I could probably swap Totodile. Do I have a Totodile? I have something. And hit their faces, and they drop berries. And then I'm like, should I cook? Okay. Does the fan do anything?
No.
What does the fan do?
It just speeds up the animation. That's it. There are definitely people who believe that if you tap perfectly, you will get a critical hit.
I still somewhat believe that. I think...
What is the perfect tap?
What I want to do is I want to record every time I cook so that when I get the critical hit, I can replay all of the recordings and compare them. But I feel like if you have the fan going up at the very end, when it hits the conclusion of the cooking, that's when you get the critical hit on the cooking. But could be wrong about that. Most people think it's random. It's probably random.
It's probably. And our brains, being brains that they are, like to seek patterns. Anyways, the fan is useless. I've completed some.
I like to tap to the rhythm, even though I know it doesn't do anything.
What rhythm?
I don't know, like
the fan is already going.
When it's up, yeah. You tap with the fan. I don't know, it feels good. I feel like tapping too fast stresses me
for
out.
anything fun and interesting in this dumb game.
I like the game.
It's
a
a
lot.
fun game.
I like sending Pokemon to the professor and grinding them up.
Oh, I haven't sent any
No.
Pokemon to anybody. They're all sitting in a box, staring at
I'm
me.
still waiting to like sit down and go through every single Pokemon and start just chucking them.
I've done a little bit of that.
I don't catch one every time. I'm like,
But you need to be.
Yeah,
Why?
because it powers them up. So like, because before you catch them, they'll have like friendship levels,
yeah.
and that's how many you've caught. So if you have like a friendship level 3 Caterpie, it means you've caught, I think, 2 or 3 Caterpies, right? Like every time you catch one, it goes up. And when you get, I think it does max at 10, but like once you get to 10, you're like guaranteed at least 1 golden stat. So then
Okay.
every Caterpie you catch at level 10 will be just significantly better than the level 1, level 2, level 3, because they'll be like guaranteed. So you want like the golden stats because they're better than the blue stats, and the blue stats are better than the white stats.
So can I ask you this question? What's my time frame on getting that done? Oh, right,
Oh, I mean-
forever. So
Yeah,
I will
forever.
just catch them when they're hungry, and I do not care.
I mean, yeah,
That's gonna
true.
take forever.
But like I was prioritizing Squirtle and Caterpie because if they're going to be my like long con Pokemon, then I want to get them to 10.
So the long con Pokemon is Pokemon Sleep. That is the long con, and we are being conned.
There are like some Pokemon I don't care about at all though. Like I don't really care about like Mankey, or I think like Chikorita and Mankey do the same thing. It's just like Snorlax power increase,
Yeah.
and it's like I don't. Maybe that's like I don't know. Maybe the min-maxing people are like, yeah, this is really
You
good.
never sent me the spreadsheet, so I have no idea.
I don't even have this. I'd have to look. I'm sure the spreadsheet's updated, but like I like the item finder Pokemon or whatever, and I like the Pokemon that doesn't randomly heal. I like the Pokemon that heals the whole team.
Mm-hmm.
Not heal. It's like energy recovery.
Energy.
or
The
something.
energy, yeah.
Yeah. So
Berry
I think
finders are pretty important too. Ingredient finders, those are kind of my 2 main ones. Any of the ones that get the dream shards, like
don't know.
Riolu and Lucario, are not as helpful because you already have too many dream shards. But
Yeah.
I love my shiny Riolu, so I'm keeping it on my
I
team.
mean, I should probably put the shiny. I have a shiny Growlithe. I don't even know what it does.
I think Rowlith has like helping power, so like when it boosts, it will like help somebody else. But I think that's random too. So your shiny Growlithe could help your shiny Squirtle get more milk.
All right, I will swap thing when the whatever resets, and I'm forced to restart through no fault of my own. I will pick a new team, and I'll put the shinies on there, and I'll feed them candies or something.
Yeah, you gotta get them at least to level 10 before they start.
I have one
Yeah,
of them
I'll-
at 10, I think. I have a couple. I have a,
Yeah, they
I
don't
have
go
a
on the
Raichu.
team unless they're bare minimum 10, because you gotta unlock that first whatever skill, I think it's called.
I have 2 Pikachus. I could probably drop one Pikachu.
Yeah, you don't need double Pika. Pika also has the like Snorlax increased power or whatever. I have no good transition. Scarlet and Violet, those are video games.
They updated
Sure are.
recently, didn't they?
They did update. That's what the news is about. This is off Nintendo Life. 2.0.2 is now live. They did say like early October. They were correct. This came out on October 11th. It's a couple days ago. They fixed 3 things. Well, this is what they say in the patch notes. Number 1, under certain conditions, victories against NPC trainers scattered across the world may not be recorded. We talked about this before, about how the game could only remember you battling 300 trainers. I think there are 307 or 309 trainers in the game. So if you were saving the Ogre clan for last, it just didn't remember, and so you could never get the reward for what the Ogre clan does. This is fixed now. This bug has been fixed, so players who have experienced this issue can now challenge affected NPC trainers again to record their victories to then receive the rewards. It was not previously possible to transfer certain special Pokemon to Pokemon Scarlet or Violet via Pokemon Home. I still don't know why they're using the word special. if Pokemon were brought in from Pokemon Home for Pokemon Go, even if a Pokemon of the same species was already obtained in Scarlet and Violet prior to version 1.3.2, this bug has been fixed or has been resolved. One of the situations I know is Regieleki. Again, we've talked about this. A Regieleki from Pokemon Go should be able to go to Scarlet and Violet, but for some reason it didn't work, and now it works again. Apparently, a special Pokemon is still a really weird way to define. There's nothing special about Regieleki. I mean, he's a good boy. He bounces a lot. He's a good design. But, like, I just say who they are. Like, because, like, somebody commented on one of my YouTube videos of, like, I can't move Enamorus over. And I'm like, well, that doesn't make any sense because Enamorus only comes from one game. That's Legends Arceus. You can only get it in one game. It's Legends Arceus. And I moved my Enamorus over because I use it in raids. So I'm like, does Enamorus count as the special Pokemon? So it like, I don't know. I don't know why you wouldn't be able to move Enamorus over. So if, I don't know, they put out a list of Pokemon. It's fixed now, I guess. So it's really not that big of a deal. But like, why can't they just say like Enamorus, Regieleki, and Lotad? I don't know if Lotad was fine. It was just an example. But why be so vague? Just tell us what's broken so we can be like, okay, cool.
Because this team is not the Pokemon Sleep team. We already know that.
That team's so good at putting out updates.
It's so good.
They love using their Twitter or X or whatever they want to call it. They're like, here we go. They also say other selected bug fixes have been implemented. Not sure what that means. There was that bug that I was experiencing. Oh, yeah, actually, I do know. I'm actually, now that I'm questioning why I pulled this Nintendo Life, because I now remembered the third bug that was fixed, which was, I think Al in our Slack had this issue, or found this issue, where if you took, like, Pokemon that were caught in Kitakami, and then you went to battle the professor, spoiler, you battle the professor at the end of Scarlet and Violet. I think that's fair game after 11 months. When you do that final battle with the professor, and they send out either Miraidon or Koraidon, and you just, like, went through your Pokemon party, if it saw... I'm sure Al is, like, listening, being like, I could tell you the exact specific issue if you hold your Switch upside down, under your bed, in water.
Under a red moon you shall see the bug before ye.
Anyways, the issue was something where, like, if you had a Kitakami Pokemon in your party and then you went to go battle the professor, I'm really simplifying this because it was kind of hard to reproduce, the game would just crash.
Oh.
That has been fixed. The bug that I had, which was the Let's Go feature just randomly stopping to work, was not mentioned at all. And I don't really know how to reproduce that bug without just doing hours and hours of Let's Go. Not the Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee. The feature in Scarlet and Violet when you set out your Pokemon.
I just thought it just sent Pokemon to fly off cliffs to their doom.
That happens sometimes too, where your Pokemon just keeps running. That could be a feature though, because it's very fun to watch.
Very fun.
I don't know if that's fixed. It was never mentioned, but the issue that some people had with the professor crashing, that was mentioned. Not in this press release, Nintendo Life. How dare you? I trusted you as I read this press release. So yeah, they fixed a couple things. That's cool, I guess. Just a reminder, not that this has anything to do with Scarlet and Violet, but just a reminder that Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, the critically acclaimed games, the Shiny Charm doesn't actually work except for specifically Masuda method. So, for a faithful remake, that was a decision that a group of people decided to make to, one, put the Shiny Charm in a game that didn't have the Shiny Charm, but then promote it as a faithful remake, but then chose to not have the Shiny Charm do anything except for if you're specifically doing the Masuda method, and then proceed to update the game and then not address that because that was a decision that people made. for whatever. I have no clue. Those games are bad. I just want to say that. They're not great games. That was a decision that was made by a group of people.
The entire games were a decision.
Yeah, I mean, there's another
Just don't put the shiny
podcast.
charm in then, and just
Yeah.
and then if somebody questions it, you can stand by your statement of
Yeah.
faithful remake.
Faithful
The shiny
remake.
charm was not introduced until Black 2, White 2. Not even the original Black and White. Black 2, White 2 is when the shiny charm was introduced.
There was a chance that for another group of people, I was going to do a Nuzlocke of Shiny Pearl because I haven't played it yet, and I literally sat down and went, "There is no way I am not capable of playing this game again. I cannot. My soul will die if I load that up." And I've been thinking for like 2 weeks, like, what can I do to make this fun? And I have not come upon
Not
an
powered
idea
on.
that makes me want to. The closest I've come is a luxury ball egg lock where everybody sends me eggs, but they have to be in a luxury ball. But that's just selfish because I want to complete a luxury ball deck. But I still don't want to play the game. I just want the eggs. I don't know. It's bad.
It was definitely a video game. That's for sure.
It definitely made money.
Sure did. It definitely ran, and it was bug.
It was not bug free. Don't even say. You can't say that.
Yeah, there was plenty of bugs. There was Ninkata and Shit Ninja. Yeah. Wormpole was in that game.
Was there? Because all I saw were Geodudes.
There's a lot of Geodudes. That's true. What's our next bit of news here? Where's my show notes here? Speaking of disappointing, going from Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl to this news, I have 3 different emails pulled up. We're going to talk about the Van Gogh stuff here. And I booked a $800 round-trip flight to Amsterdam, which is a good deal, honestly.
That is a good deal.
The last time I went to Seattle, Washington from MSP, it was $740-some. So for $60 more, I can literally go to a different country round trip. I canceled my flight. I will explain why. It was refundable. Okay, so the first email I have here is from Pokémon Center, October 10th. Your order has been canceled. Hello, Steve. We're sorry that the items below from your order could not be processed, hence it's been canceled. You will not be charged for the canceled items in your order, though you might see a temporary authorization on your bank account. Please note that the authorization will be released according to their banking policies. We apologize for the inconvenience. Please refer to our FAQ, the Pokemon Center team. What I ordered: Pokemon Center, Van Gogh Museum, Pokemon-inspired paintings from the Van Gogh Museum Amsterdam pin box set. This is the longest title in the world, 6-pack. And then the Pokemon Van Gogh Museum Pikachu with a gray felt hat promo card, which came free with the pin set, which was $50. That I ordered probably around 11:15 a.m. the day that the disaster happened, the day 0, when Pokemon Center failed to actually work for anyone except possibly scalpers. Yeah, that's when I was doing my 72-hour marathon. I woke up. People said that the Pokemon Center was updated. I went. There was a bunch of stuff sold out. The pin set was still in stock. I really didn't have any trouble adding it to my cart and purchasing it. And then I heard that people got their orders canceled. And I was like, well, mine didn't get canceled. And then it did, like a week later.
You never got that confirmation email.
I never did, yes. So I ordered on September 29th, and so that got canceled. All right, second email from Pokemon Center again. Update on the Van Gogh Museum collaboration. Hi, trainer. Fans shopping at Pokemon Center will soon receive another opportunity to obtain the Pikachu with gray felt hat promo card. Trainers who purchase at least $30 of qualifying Pokemon TCG product will receive one Pikachu with gray felt hat promo card with their orders while supplies last. Asterisks. Stay tuned for additional updates via the email on our official social media channels, because that has always worked so well the first time. The asterisk says get one Van Gogh Museum Pikachu with gray felt hat card with every eligible order shipped to the U.S. or Canada, addressed from PokemonCenter.com. While supplies last, no code required. Pre-orders and digital products are not eligible. Order must contain minimum of $30 from the TCG category. So, I still think they messed up communication-wise because they were giving one felt promo card per item that you purchased. So if you purchased like 3 $7.99 Van Gogh decks, TCG sleeves, 60-pack of sleeves or whatever for your cards, you got 3 promo cards. Now they're saying, which they've never done before, by the way. Like in the past, it was like one promo card per order. Doesn't matter if you order $20 or $100, you're getting one card. That's why people would order. They would make separate orders. Now they're saying that you get one per your order, and you got to spend at least $30 specifically in the TCG. And who knows what is I don't know what's in stock right now for the TCG. Hopefully, okay stuff, but yeah, I guess I have another chance.
The stuff that people want in the TCG is rarely in stock on the Pokemon Center.
Yeah, that's fine, I guess. Like, how many cards are they gonna have? When is this going to be happening? They say, like, watch out for social media, watch out for the email, but they have proven time and time again that, like, it's just not reliable. Like, there are fan Twitter. Did they actually say Twitter? No, they just say social media. There are fan Twitter accounts or Facebook pages or subreddits that just get the news out faster that things are updating. And I said this on Twitter. I don't understand why they don't reprint the entire collection, not specifically the card, like everything. The playmats, the plushes, the paintings. It's their stuff. I don't think the Van Gogh Museum is like, how dare you print more playmats with your iconic characters on it.
Supposedly it's still in stock at the museum, too. Most of it. Everything except the plush.
Like they messed up, right? They apologized. Why don't they make more? I simply do not understand why. They're very good at making plushes. They're very good at making playmats. They're very good at making TCG sleeves, pins, you name it. They put out the same products in rotation every 2 months, 3 months. They just change the Pokemon on it. I don't know their distributors, right? Like, I don't know specifically who's making the pins or the TCG sleeves, but they're making a lot of them because they make them all year long. Like, if you went out of your way to apologize to your customers, that's fine. I get, like, but, like, make more. What no one loses in this situation. I guess maybe the scalpers lose.
Scalpers lose.
But, like, your customers are happy.
So having worked with a person that tried to do printing and stuff with printers, it's incredibly difficult once one run is done to reschedule to have all the printers reset to run that batch again. It's really expensive, and it's really hard to schedule because they have a pretty strict schedule of, you're slotted in here, we have you doing this batch, and then we have to switch all the stuff around and switch everything out to run this next batch, depending on what it is. So it could just be that they don't feel it is worth the expense of whatever extra fee the printer's going to charge them to interrupt their current printing batch to run a second run. Like, my game sold out, and then it was a number of months before Japan Games could order a second printing and get it onto the block, and then get it reprinted and restructured, put back out again. It's not easy. It's also not difficult. I just imagine Pokemon companies like, okay, so will this still be super popular in 5 months when we can get the printing batch again? And I think a lot of people on our end would say absolutely. But I don't know that they see that as a business case that's worth the risk of saying, if we print another 10,000  5 months later, will we just be sitting on 5,000 Van Gogh prints that go, no. Like, I don't know the answer. I don't know. Like, I understand at least some of the reasons why they don't do it.
Yeah, no, I understand, like, production lines and, like, they have other things that need to come out, whether that's Halloween or Christmas or, we gotta make Ogerpon now. Like, he has to come out, she has to come out in plush form. But I feel like there's just, like, a responsibility that you, as a company, sometimes, especially a company that makes a lot of money, and you have a very devoted fan base, and I can understand, although I would also assume that there's a lot of smart people that work at the Pokemon company that understands fulfillment and marketing and stuff. But I would understand, like, they underestimated the collaboration between Mr. One Ear and Pikachu. Like, they didn't think that it was going to be like I on this own show, I underestimated how popular Pokemon Go would be. I think everyone did. No one thought that Pokemon Go was going to be like a 7-year plus ongoing game. I think a lot of people were like, this'll fizzle out in a year.
I wouldn't say no one.
I think some people would argue that maybe it should have ended several years ago. When you have, I would consider it like a PR disaster of like, this was overly popular. A lot of people wanted it. You messed up. So many people just wanted a plush or wanted a playmat or wanted a print, and you like. Mm-hmm. You could at least, I don't even think you lose money. Like, it might be like, oh, okay, like, we won't make as much of a profit on a second run. But not only would you probably just break even or still make some of a profit, you have like a retainment and a trust rebuilding with your audience.
I agree. I also think we just need to figure out the scalper problem, right? Like, there needs to be something to stop the fact that a lot of this just gets eaten up to be thrown on eBay for outrageous prices. And I sometimes worry that a lot of companies don't want to put a lot out because they don't want to see the secondary market thrive as much as it does through scalping. And I don't have a good way of, like, there's not a good way of stopping it. Like, we've seen this happen in Magic, where Magic is trying to kill the secondary market because they don't make money off it. So they'll do a ton of reprints in new products, but of course they've been overpricing their products. So, like, nobody wants to buy the reprints. We'll just wait till the third parties pull them out of pack and sell them singly again because, right, you reprinted it. I'm not guaranteed it, and I still have to pay $200 for a box to maybe get this. Or I will still go to your secondary market where it's being sold as a single and pay $5 for it because you flooded the market. Like, the same thing's happening here, where they just seem to have a lack of a clear vision on how to deal with scalping in the secondary market. And I don't I can't sit here and come up with an answer because I thought through. But I do feel like a lot of companies deliberately short things in an effort to make it a high collectible and make sure that only certain people get it without understanding that they're just also fueling heavily the scalping market because of it. And
making a negative experience almost all around.
Right. And then the other flip side is to make so many of it that it's just flooded the market and they have no value, which almost seems better than what's happening now, I think. Like, having a flooded market, I mean, ultimately it's kind of what happened with comics. Like, they went into the super variant cover limited scarcity thing, and then everyone's like, well, I don't want to buy all of this. I don't want to buy 17 covers of the same comic, and the comic market started to tank.
Well, I don't want to buy $30 worth of TCG cards that I've already bought. I want to buy a Van Gogh Pikachu plush.
Right.
Like, I want him with the little painting board. Like, I wanted that pin set. Like, this is such a mediocre solution to be like, okay, we're reprinting the card and just buy we already have in stock. Like, they did take in account the scalper thing during the pandemic, right? Like, how many times have you, listener, or you two on the show have been banned from PokemonCenter.com? Like, I've been banned like 3 times because they're like, you're clicking too fast.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I'm clicking fast at
I'm
all.
not clicking fast.
But,
I
like,
literally hit the back button and you said, nope.
Yeah. I
And
went
then
to
you
the
get-
website once and it was already like that.
then you're banned for like 24 hours. So, like, they did put something in to, like, manage bots, I guess. But, like, I don't know. Like, look at my profile. Look at how much money I have spent in the last, like, 4 years that you've got up. I'm definitely not a
feel like
scalper.
this is something that they should do, like a pre-sale ticket code thing, like they do for help curb some scalping for ticket sales, where select people get a code for pre-sales that goes out in an email that goes out to a select group of people that they know are big spenders that, you know, have a ton of verified purchases, to allow those people to purchase first in a limited quantity. And then once they're sure of, like, hey, all of you who have a code, the code works for Thursday and Friday, and then full sales happen on Saturday, that might help somewhat. But again, that takes time and money and effort from people, and I do not think the Pokemon Company cares that.
And it would be sad for the people who can only occasionally buy things they really, really want.
Yeah.
Even, like, a lottery system would still be better than just, like, again, reading this email of, like, it'll come back. We have no clue what day. We have no clue what time. We have no clue if they're going to actually properly communicate when it drops. So it's like, am I going to be in the shower when this happens on, like, a Wednesday morning? And then it's like the 15-minute shower. I take a 15-minute shower. Like, I get out and everything's gone. And it's like, sucks. How dare you be clean?
Correct. How dare you?
You
How
need to be
dare-
ready for Pokemon's announcement at any time. All the time.
You need to
have
be
Google
ready
Earth up.
with your credit card to buy $30 worth of TCG cards that you don't need to get this promo card. I just want the plush. Hey, speaking of not being able to get the plush, I got another email. This is from the museum at e.vangoghmuseum.nl, Netherlands, I guess. Pokemon promo card not available. Are you visiting the Van Gogh Museum for partnership with Pokemon? We look forward to welcoming you to the museum. We would like to inform you that as of Saturday, October 14th, This email was sent on the 13th, by the way, one day before. The promotional Pikachu with a gray felt hat trading card is no longer being issued by the Van Gogh Museum. For more information, please visit our website. All Pokemon activities in the museum will continue to be available during the collaboration until January 7th, 2024. Visitors can try the Pokemon Adventure Treasure Hunt, view the Pokemon paintings inspired by Van Gogh, and draw their own Pikachu. There are also other family activities during the autumn school holiday and pioneering expedition. Van Gogh, along with Celine, just opened. If you want to cancel or rebook your ticket, please use the contact form. So they still had cards, obviously, but now they're saying we just aren't handing them out anymore. And this is part of why I canceled my flight, which would have been, let me double check here, the December 4th I would have went, which is a Monday. But yeah, they're they didn't say it here, but from my understanding of sleuthing and talking to people who went to the event, that there was still every day a bunch of people waiting outside of the exit of the museum, and when somebody would walk out, they would offer to buy the felt card off of that person.
Yeah. In their FAQ on their website, it is kind of a awful small paragraph to read, where they're answering why it's no longer available, and I can read it if that's helpful.
Yeah, read it.
Cool. It says, the Van Gogh Museum and the Pokemon Company International take the safety and security of visitors and staff very seriously. Recently, a small group of individuals has created an undesirable situation that has led us to take the difficult decision to remove the Pikachu with gray felt hat promo card from the museum. In this way, visitors will be able to experience this special collection of Pokemon paintings and the rest of the museum in a safe and enjoyable manner.
This is outrageous to me. I'm both,
it's absurd.
Angry and flabbergasted that a museum is private property. Ask them to leave. Is it public? I don't.
It really depends on the museum. I don't know the qualifications for this one, but a lot of museums are public property. They're owned by the government, so it gets really complicated. But I don't know about the Van Gogh Museum. It's also European laws different than ours.
This whole situation is just incredibly poorly managed and at no point got better. I think they have some merch, like Hannah said, not the plush.
Supposedly, in their FAQ, they do have a list of the merch that is supposed to be available still, and it's most things are available still in the museum except for the plush and the card.
And they had to move the card to a different part of the museum, and then they got rid of the scavenger hunt that you needed to do, because originally it was you go to the museum, you do the scavenger hunt, you hand in the scavenger hunt, you get the card. They just cut that, and then they were handing the card out as you exited the museum. Also, if they just printed more cards, it would be less desirable for people to stand out there to try to make a profit, because it wouldn't technically be worth their time if the card wasn't... The card's not even worth as much as it was originally worth. No. You can, as of this recording, you can get the card for about $100, which is not a lot for, there are definitely other Pokemon cards that are worth way more, for sure, definitely. But the card was being sold for $300 to $400. That was maybe at most a 48-hour to 72-hour window before it dramatically dropped to about $100 for that card. So, you ideally you print more cards, you get it in the hands of people who actually want the cards. Then they don't have to go to eBay to buy it, and then you have less buyers, and the sellers move on to something that is profitable. The only thing that stops or slows down scalpers is like the demand going down, right?
Yeah.
Like if a card is worth $100 and something else comes out that's worth a $200 profit, they're gonna move over to that versus, you know, if it continues to be $100 and they can stand and get 3, 4, 5 cards standing there for a couple hours versus, okay, now the card's only worth $30, they're gonna move on. Like their time is everyone's time is valuable, but like the exhibit itself is not even particularly big. Like if you saw the picture of like the paintings, that's kind of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can kind of see the whole exhibit in a single picture. Like that's kind of it. So for me, it was like, okay, I want to go to this exhibit. I want to see it. I want to see the whole museum. I want to see the city, but I also like want to walk away with something that made that experience unique. Like even if the Fossil Museum in Japan didn't have the Pikachu plush, and for like, I bring up the Fossil Museum a lot because the Fossil Museum was supposed to only be like a 4 to 5 month thing. And then COVID happened and they extended it, and then other museums wanted to do it. So they moved the exhibit from museum to museum. And in the almost 3 years, maybe going on 4 years, that this went from a couple month project to a several year project, they continued to make little Pikachu paleontologist plushes. And when I was in the gift shop and they were restocking the plushes, they were low on some stuff, right? Like they were low on shirts. Like if you wanted a shirt, they only had like extra large or whatever, right? If you wanted like postcards, they only had like 4 of the 5 different postcards. But when they opened the back door to the room, it was all Pikachu plushes, like floor to ceiling. They were not running out anytime soon. So like, it's so frustrating looking at the situation because we have seen a situation before where they pivoted. They were like, we're going to extend this. We're going to keep making plushes. We're going to keep these things restocked. And they turned it into a good experience. And for this, again, I don't know who's like, maybe the museums in Japan just cared way more. Or maybe like the Pokemon Company cared way more than the Pokemon Company International, which is technically in charge of this because it's Europe, it's not Japan.
There are also a lot of museums with dinosaur bones. I think there's only one Van Gogh museum.
Yeah.
It's just like they could have pivoted and they could have made it a better experience and they could have worked or set the Van Gogh Museum up for success and been like, hey, we're going to help you out. Hey, maybe you should hire security, more security or different security, and we'll like cover it because we want you to be happy with this collaboration. We want our Pokemon fans to be happy with this collaboration. Like, the only good thing I could say here is they're offering to let me get my $40 back, 40 euros or whatever back, because I bought 2 tickets. And I could probably go and still have a good time, but the main reason I canceled is because of how sour I feel after this entire thing, from the museum itself to PokemonCenter.com to then PokemonCenter.com sending another email being like, we're going to try again, but we'll pick a day and a time and maybe we'll let you know and maybe you can buy some stuff and maybe the card will be attached. Like every single step has been handled so poorly, and I was just hoping in the last like 2 weeks that they would fix it. And they were like, nah, lost cause, I guess. Maybe the next event will do better. Like, just so many opportunities to, like, you just have so much money and power as this Goliath to, like, just fix it.
And it's been such a huge mess.
Yeah.
Just in every aspect of it. And the communication, I feel awful for the museum My
Oh,
guess
yeah.
is that they thought it was going to go as smoothly as the dinosaur paleontology museums have, and this was not that experience at all.
It's insane.
I, I don't know how this company, after so many events, is still so bad at planning events. I don't understand how you can look at your track record lately and not think we need to do anything better. We need to really look at what we are doing and how we are running things and what our fan base has become. I feel like they just are refusing to acknowledge where the world is in conjunction with their fan base. And like, if you didn't expect people to be outside of a rare event collecting and trying to get a super rare card, where have you been since 2020? What have you been watching? Because the rest of us watched fist fights in Target because people were so bored. Like, where are you as a company? Like, it just feels like they just want to pretend that their fan base is somehow better than it is, and it's not. No fan base is. And they're just refusing to, like, deal with it. They're just throw it in the air, it happens, and we'll apologize later, maybe. And it's like, I don't understand where you are going, because I can't figure out, after a series of just poorly and catastrophically planned events, what your end goal is. What do you want these events to be? Because they're bad. I don't understand what is happening with this company in any way, shape, or form right now.
Yeah, it even goes back to their Pokemon centers at like a national tournament or regional tournament or world tournament. Like, we know we have so many years that we of just knowing that people want the backpacks. And that's the thing that is sold out all the time, is the backpacks.
That's one of the first things I learned
Yep.
the first time I went to a Worlds.
And you look, like, I remember the Nashville World Championships. Gosh, what year was that? Where it was in Nashville,
boy.
And I was there the day like Friday, right? And I walked right into the Pokemon Center. There wasn't a huge line or anything, right? And out of everything in that entire store, the first thing that was sold out was the backpack. And it was like, we haven't even been open for an hour. And this one item for the rest of the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, is sold out. It's sold out in an hour. And when I went to, I can name a bunch of events, but going back to the latest event, which is the Columbus, Ohio National Tournament, I talked to so many people that were like, yep, I had a Friday morning, 8 a.m. thing, and people were already in there before 8 a.m. I thought they said it opened at 8 a.m., but they let people in early, and the first person that walked out came out with 8 backpacks. 8. Why did they let him buy 8 backpacks? No one needs... Maybe you have 7 children, I don't know, and they're all ready to go to school. Doubtful, but like... Even when if you watch my world video when I went to the Yokohama World Championship, the thing I was excited about was that there was like, oh, it says limit 2 here. And then there were some items that didn't have a limit. And when I walked out, one of the people that worked at the Pokemon company was like, how did you like it? Do you have any feedback for us? And I was like, yes. Everything needs a limit. Everything. Because you know what happened at Yokohama? No surprise. The backpack was sold out on the first day again. Like, make more backpacks. No one needs 8 backpacks. Like, like, make more stuff.
Yeah, it just again, I don't know. Like it feels deliberate to not learn from every experience you've had. It feels like a deliberate choice at this point because you cannot look at your history of how things go and be like, well, good old ways are the way to go, tried and true. Like, you're just actively refusing to look.
They're walking a real fine line trying to keep things on the rare and valued side so that people want them because they're rare and valuable, and end up making experiences that are just unpleasant.
Yeah. It just, like, it's so hard for me to be like, yeah, you should go to New Orleans for the national championship, and like, hopefully you get in line early enough at the Pokemon Center, and hopefully you get everything you want. Because like, if you're booking Saturday, Sunday, stuff is just going to be sold out.
Yep.
And like the stuff that isn't normally sold out is just the stuff you can just get on PokemonCenter.com.
Yep.
Like when I walked into the Ohio, I didn't have any like special privileges or anything for Ohio. I got like a free like spectator pass or something. So I guess disclosure, they paid my like $11 spectator pass. But like I walked, like I didn't want to wait in line. Like it was if you didn't register and you didn't win the lottery, you don't get to go online. You could possibly wait in the standby line for up to 4 to 5 hours. And that was random too. That was like, depending on what employee was working, they'd be like, nah, we're not taking anyone in standby to, yeah, sure, jump in standby. It might be a couple hours. And then, so when the line was finally dead on Sunday, why was the line dead? Because they literally had no product left. And so when the line was dead, I was like, I just want to see what it looks like. Like, I don't really want to buy anything. I walked in, and it was everything that was in stock was just stuff you get, like, it's just stuff you get off Pokemon Center. Like, you want socks? Do you want to travel all the way to Columbus, Ohio to get $11 Pikachu socks that you could also just order from the comfort of your home? Did you want the overpriced Team Rocket merchandise that was, like, still fully in stock because it was $100 for a hoodie? Like, that was what was in stock. But that's not why people are going to those live events. Like, maybe somebody, like, I understand the impulse buy of, like, oh, I'm at a live event, let me get this Durant plush, because, like, I like Durant. But, like, people are going, I think a lot, like, it's the same thing as, like, a band. Like, no one is buying, like a Fall Out Boy shirt because it's an amazing design. They're buying the Fall Out Boy shirt because they went to the concert and they want, like, a token of, like, I was there. Like, that's why I would have went to the Van Gogh Museum, so somebody would be like, where'd you get that Pikachu plush? Like, oh, cool, I had an amazing trip to Amsterdam, and, like, I got this plush, and I saw this museum, and, like, I can't wait to go back. Why are they so bad at these why are they so bad at these events? Ah!
The other It's like I also don't want to take away from how awful people are at these events. Like, there is a human aspect of people being awful that make this awful. Like, scalpers are awful and they do awful things that are trying to rip people off to make money. People acting up outside the Van Gogh event, like, it's not the museum's fault that people are awful. Like, there's this level of toxicity amongst human beings when these things happen that are caused by false scarcity. And again, it's only scarce because they have chosen to make it scarce. There is no way they don't have sales numbers. That is not how business works. They know what they're doing. So they are bringing this upon themselves deliberately and also actively not doing anything about it. I don't want to take away how awful scalpers are and how terrible the people are outside the museum, but also let's not forget that the false scarcity and the rarity and the specialness of that is 100% in control of a company that doesn't give a crap.
They also make more money if they make more product.
I mean,
There's like they know also at the end of like a national tournament or a regional tournament or a world tournament, they know how much product they have left over.
yeah, it's not
Yeah.
hard. They have to. They know what they're making, and they're just
Like the only thing I could possibly think of is like, how do we ship all this stuff there? Like we have a limit because this is the freight that we're doing, but I don't believe for a second that like they don't make that money back in sales.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, freight shipping is up, but also the more you ship, you do get discounts when you ship more things. Like there is a scale, there is a balance there. It's not like I'm shipping 10 tons more and it's going to cost 3 times as much. It will cost more because you're shipping more, but they also have to give you bigger discounts. So like they also know, like I still feel like Pokemon just refuses to grasp how big their brand actually is. Like, I just want to take them to Disney boot camp and make them sit with Disney and say, these people, true, they're kind of psychotic, but they know how to run stuff. Please learn from them. Yeah, they're kind of evil, but they treat their customers extremely well.
Again, my biggest complaint is they had so many opportunities to fix this Van Gogh thing, and they just didn't.
Yep.
It just seemed like my impression was they threw their hands up in the air, and they were like, well, it's over. On to the next project. Which is probably true. Which is probably like whoever was in charge of this probably is working on whatever is next. That's probably very true. They we don't have time for this anymore. The cog of the Pokemon machine needs to keep spinning, and we got to move on and to hire more people.
They're trying to get the cards out there, and that's about it.
Okay, we gotta take a break. So when we get back, we got some party play. Is that what they're calling it? And some more stuff. So we will be right back. And we are back from our break. We got a little bit of Pokemon Go news here. First bit is celebrate the beginning of Halloween adventure with Greavard. I don't know how to say that. During the Pokemon Go Halloween 2023 Part 1. On a positive note, I think most people really do like the Halloween event stuff that Niantic does. I think for the most part, it's pretty well received. Greavard, the Ghost Dog Pokemon, and Houndstone will make their Pokemon Go debut. But I believe they will be shiny as well, even though the website doesn't have the little sparkle next to it. I thought they could be. I could be wrong on that. Maybe that was just like the assets being uploaded and not being turned on.
Yeah. I
it doesn't
recall
have the
hearing
thing
that, but
to
they
it.
don't have the sparkle.
Yeah, but hey, Niantic's website, PokemonGoLive.com, has definitely been riddled with errors before, so it could be shiny.
There is a shiny that people are excited about, though.
Yeah. Also, the following Pokemon will be available in the wild: Ekans, Zubat, Alolan Meowth, Ghastly, Haunter, Spinarak, Misdreavus, Poochyena, Shuppet, Drifloon, Litwick, Phantump. And if you're lucky, trainers, you may also find Sandygast in the wild. And for the first time in Pokemon Go, you'll be able to counter Shiny Phantump if you're lucky.
I'll wait for the Community Day in 2050.
It's a real good shiny, though. It's a really good one.
It is, but I'm not going to hunt it.
We're all in agreement that they're just milking the debut of Mimikyu, right? Like when when is this Pokemon coming?
It's coming to Unite in a week.
I know.
Yeah,
That's
I
why
really
I thought
that this year, yeah.
I thought that this was going to be the year. I thought they were going to line it up with the Unite stuff because Unite and Pokemon Go and
And the
Scarlet and
GameStop
Violet.
distribution, yeah.
They've all kind of been in symmetry a bit.
Do we think it's because of his disguise ability and Go Battle League? I mean, I don't know how you make the disguise thing work when you're like constantly attacking. Like one attack it breaks and then you just keep attacking. Like it's not that great in Go. You think they're holding off until they can figure out a better way to make the disguise thing work? Or like I'm trying to come up with reasons why they just haven't done it and why they wouldn't do it when Mimikyu's coming to Unite, literally on the 18th.
There's also been a Mimikyu hat in Pokemon Go forever.
Yeah. I mean, like, we all know that it's an incredibly popular Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
Like, super popular. Like, Pikachu had a Mimikyu costume at one point, did it not?
Yeah.
Was that like a year or two ago?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, like, this Halloween event seems good. Like, Greavyard, great, cool. Like, lined up with Scarlet and Violet. So people are like, oh, that's a cool Pokemon. Maybe I'll pick up these games. Like, Phantom being shiny, that's cool.
They're bringing the map back. The whole game's going to look different. The whole game's going to look spooky.
Yeah.
That's also very cool. For $5, you'll get exclusive timed research, which if you don't complete, you don't get your rewards. But you will earn encounters with Phantom. Alolan Meowth, you will get the Halloween pose, which is... I'm not sure what they're trying to... I don't understand the pose. Is it like they're zombies?
It's kind of zombie-esque. It's like the ghost coming to
Yeah,
you,
it's
but
more Ghost. It's like the ooh.
It's like,
Oh,
but they don't
okay,
really
okay.
complete it. They just sort of like stop halfway and then reset. So it's really super awkward to watch.
Last year's was the zombies.
Yeah. There'll be timed research that'll be free for everyone. That'll get you more Stardust and Greavyard. There's more timed research where you get your one chance a year to catch Spirit Tomb, and if you're lucky, it could be shiny. Like that's sure. Maybe in like 13 more years, you'll be able to actually be lucky enough to roll shiny Spirit Tomb.
Spirit Tomb Community Day 2060.
There we go. You'll get additional candy for nice, great, and excellent throws. Additional XL candy, 2 times hatch candy. Field research will give you Misdreavus or Phantom. 1-star raids will be Misdreavus, Shuppet, Drifloon. 3-star raids will be Gengar, Ghastly, Greavyard. Why is Greavyard on 3-star raids? Why is that a choice? 5-star raids will be Guzzlord until the 20th. Then it will switch to Darkrai. Mega raids will be Gengar until the 20th, and then it'll switch to Banette. 7K eggs will be the very spooky Munchlax, Riolu, and Galarian Yamask. There will be new avatar stuff, a Yamask mask, a Cofagrigus costume, a Cofagrigus head, a Phantom head, a Greavyard wig. There'll be new stickers. They're doing something with Amazon Prime where you can get the wig for free, I guess, if you have Amazon Prime. I think that's what they're saying.
Pretty much. It's another timed research that gets you the wig early.
I also thought that maybe, okay, so sometimes like there's like assets that are data mined or whatever. Maybe Halloween Part 2 will be Gengar in an outfit. There's like a new Pikachu coming apparently.
There is going to be a Halloween Part 2, but that has not been announced yet.
Yeah. So I'm assuming Halloween Part 2 would have the Pikachu in a Halloween outfit and Gengar in a Halloween outfit. Gengar has the worst shiny in the entire world. I don't know why they continue putting outfits on Gengar. Well, I know why they put outfits on Gengar.
It's a popular Pokemon.
It's a very popular Pokemon. That being said, just because like stuff is data mined, I just want to be very clear that that doesn't mean that they're guaranteed to come. What was like Stantler with the reindeer bells was like we had to wait like a full, like it was like data mined, and then it actually never came out that Christmas. It came out like the following Christmas. So just like that stuff happens. We're not the ones doing it. It just pops up on Twitter or threads or whatever. Like I see it. I'm like, oh, that's cool if it comes out. Might not come out.
Might
Who
not come
out. Speaking of something that might not come out, it should come out, is what party play? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
There's not a lot of information on it right now. Niantic did show it off to creators the other day, and they said that it would be okay to talk about. So I think by the time this podcast comes up, it should be out, or more details should be there. Although speaking of data mining, if you read the data mine, you probably actually know what it does.
Yeah, there's some information out there.
I mean, here's the gist of it. Here's what they told me. Hopefully, I'm not making Niantic upset by saying this early, but again, I'm sure there are YouTube people that have already talked about it and whatnot. But the gist of it is that you'll be able to play with up to 4 friends. You have to be within the location to start the party play. So if, me, Greg, Will are at the Mall of America, one of us would start it. You have to be within pretty close to join. And then it will give you like a task as a group. That task might be like catch 20 Pokemon together. And then between the 3 of us, we catch the 20 Pokemon, we get our reward, and then it'll give us another task. I was told that it would last like an hour, and then it will automatically end. So you're in the party for an hour. Also, once you're in the party, if Greg wants to leave and me and Will stay behind, technically the party still exists for that hour. So like Greg doesn't have to be close to me that entire time. He could go across the street to IKEA.
Awesome.
And me and Will can... Yeah, you go to IKEA and continue playing.
I'm getting myself a bookcase.
And then the other thing is that if I join a raid, Greg and Will would automatically get the invites to it, and then it wouldn't use your 5 invites or whatever. And then that there would be like a power boost because we're in a party together.
Mm-hmm.
So that was like kind of the gist of it.
Supposedly, you'll also be able to see your party members on the map.
Yes,
if
which
they
is
say yes, which they have to consent to, but is something that sounds kind of cool.
So that's a thing in Pikmin. If you that was a toggle in Pikmin. So you can, when you're planting flowers, you can appear on the map, and then if people are close to you, you can see other people planting flowers, but they have to opt in to show that. So if like we were at Mall of America together and you were planting flowers and I were planting flowers, if we looked at the game, you would see both of our characters like skipping around. Like I don't know if there's like a lot of, it's like a novelty thing to be like, oh, there's everyone on the map together. I don't know. I don't know if like if Greg leaves and like walks to IKEA, if his character is like in the game physically going to leave the group. I would imagine not. I would imagine it just puts you together and it follows you, but I don't know the details of that. Again, hopefully this is okay to talk about. It was very early in the morning when they were like, here's our press conference. And I do remember one of the questions being like, hey, can we talk about this? And they were like, yeah, just don't like show the slides from the keynote or whatever. And I was like, okay, sure. It seems like a very simple thing overall. I understand the appeal of like, let's like group up and catch like however many Pokemon together. Like that's like fun. I totally get that. It would be awkward though for people that have like a friend group of 5 because it only goes up to 4.
Yeah.
So that's awkward, but that's like every game. Like, man, I remember when wasn't Overwatch like a game of 6, and then like they were like, we're actually removing a character. So could you imagine being like a competitive Overwatch team of like 6 people, and they're like, hey, we're going down to a team of 5. Like,
who's getting kicked off?
Yeah, who's getting kicked off the team? Like Pokemon Go is not the first game to have like specific groups of people. So I am like, that was the first thing in my head is like, oh man, what if you're in a friend group of like 5? Like if you're in a friend group of 6, you could at least break off into 2 groups of 3. I guess you could do a group of 3 and a group of 2. I don't know what the rewards are though. Like I don't know if like you get better rewards if you're in a group of 4 versus a group of 2. I would assume so. but I don't know.
Even that
maybe
hasn't been data mined, I think. But
maybe I should ask that question.
it kind of feels like, tell me if I'm the only one who thinks this, but it kind of feels like when you're going to someone's world in Animal Crossing, and you can all kind of fish together or play together that way, that it's not super interactive, but you're all kind of there and playing together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, that's how I felt in Scarlet and Violet. Like, you can go to the other person's world and you can, like, walk around with them. But the only thing you're really doing is, like, bringing their frame rate down.
And making their mount invisible. I mean, for, like, Community Day, why not? Like, why not?
Yeah. For Community Day, it sounds like the perfect situation.
But also, again, if you have a large group, you're going to have to be like, hey, group 1 here, group 2 here, and, like, do the count, because we have 13 people today, so we're going to have to form 2 groups of 4, and then a couple of groups of 3.
Yeah, but that's not too hard.
Yeah, it's just,
especially if you're in person.
yeah, it's just sort of like, all right, there has to be a line somewhere, I guess. I don't know why. Probably because it will kill your frame rate, but sure.
Yeah, I don't know if, like, in the future you could do, like, a group of 10. I also, like, don't know what are... the only thing I remember them saying is, like, as a group, catch this many Pokemon. I was like, yeah, that makes sense. But, like, I don't know what the other challenges would be. Is it, like, as a group, spin more Pokestops? As a group, hatch a bunch of eggs? I would assume those would be, like...
Yeah.
Complete however many research tasks. Earn this much Stardust.
But also, if it's something like, as a group, hatch 10 eggs, and I don't buy incubators, Greg doesn't buy incubators, and, like, is the hatch... again, I have no clue if it's hatch 10 eggs. This is just an example. If the hatch 10 eggs is, like, what, like, your reward is, like, 10 Pokeballs. Like, that's not worth...
Yeah. The question is how good the rewards will be. Like, I can't imagine they're going to be super great, that it's just like, hey, this is an extra bonus. I feel like I don't think the research things will be much more than catch this many and spin this many things. Like, I imagine that's what it's going to focus on, and the rewards will be a nice boost. I think it's just like, to me, the idea seems like, let's do the thing that we should have done the entire time and give extra rewards if you're playing in person with the community. So it's like, what we wanted them to do was, like, come up with a way to reward people for getting together. I'm just hoping that the rewards aren't so stunning that, again, it feels punishing if you don't have a group of people around you, like if you're in a rural area. I just hope it's like a nice little boost, a fun little extra thing when you're all together, and not like another way to, say, too bad you live in a rural area or can't buy.
Yeah, like, I when it comes to being in, like, a big city like Boston or Chicago or Tokyo or whatever, you don't have the same issues that somebody who lives in like Fond du Lac has, which is like, if Greg and I are playing at Mall of America, we never need Pokeballs. That is just never an issue that will exist. Like,
although we were paying today, we both ran out.
we did run out, but literally.
Great example.
Wait, what's happening? Oh, we're out of Pokeballs.
Literally, when we ran out, I just switched my Pokeball Plus to just spin stops, and within minutes, I was at 50 Pokeballs again. Like, that's just not an issue for like city players. So, like, I could imagine if you, like, lived in a town with, like, 3 Pokestops and 1 gym, and so Community Day is probably, not super good. Maybe that's, like, all in, like, your very small playground park or whatever, like, down the street from a bar. Like, I totally understand, like, playing together, even if it's, like, with your brother or your mom or your friend, is like, okay, this is giving us more Pokeballs or something, and that's making the experience better. Totally understand that. But I think Greg makes a great point of, on this show, and Niantic has, on the show we've said, like, Niantic needs to incentivize group play. This is an actual way to incentivize group play. I shouldn't say group play. I should say like incentivize not playing on your couch.
Yeah.
Which is what the pandemic turned that game into. And you see it all the time on their posts, right? Like even on the, what's this called? Party play? Even on the party play post, people are like, you know what would be better than party play? $1 remote raid passes. Like there are still people there are still people out there that the game
would be
to
better
them
than this? A winning lottery ticket. Sure. You're not going to get it.
I don't think it's happening. The game to those people were, I want to sit on my couch, I want to remote in, and I want to roll the slot machine that is 1 in 20 chance for a legend. Like that was fun to people. Maybe not to their wallet, but that was fun to people. And then so what we said and what a lot of people said, instead of punishing everyone, if you want people to go out and play your video game, make it more enjoyable or give us a reason to go out and play your video game instead of just making everyone's experience bad. So this is a thing that, I mean, we'll see if this works. I don't think anyone who's jaded about raid passes is ever going to be convinced or ever going to be happy. But for the people who do go out, for community day, which is, I think, a lot of people, I think community day is probably Niantic's best day of the month for revenue and for players and everything. I hope that this somewhat I don't think it's going to help me. I don't think it's going to help me and Greg when we're walking around Mall of America. Like, I don't need any more Pokeballs. Maybe if it's Stardust or something, that'd be nice, I guess.
Yeah.
But like, not that big of a deal. But
I mean, I'm not going to say no. We're already there.
Right. But again, for somebody that maybe doesn't have the luxury of a big city, hopefully that makes it better for them. That's cool. But I don't know. Like I said, they gave us a small preview. It looks exactly what you think it would be. Like, there's no huge surprises there. The only huge surprise is that the rewards keep getting better and better, and so you want. I don't know. One of the things they said was catch a bunch of Pokemon and you'll complete the thing together. I don't know if it's catch 30, catch 50, catch 100, catch 2. Like, do they get better? Does it feel like you want to rush through them? Maybe there's only like 3 levels and you get done in 20 minutes and that's it. Like, I don't know. But there's potential. So that's cool.
It seems like a neat feature. I'm looking forward to seeing it in game. Hopefully my ankle will be healed by then.
The other thing I think of is like, if you do go to Community Day, and I've seen this, like I've gone to Community Day as a solo player. Like that was a lot of my experience in Milwaukee. I used to play with people. Those people stopped playing Community Day and or played Community Day in places that I did not want to play, like their car. I don't want to play in a car. So there's plenty of Community Days where I played solo. I wonder if the rewards would be good enough to be like, maybe I should talk to a couple people and be like, hey, let's start a party. And then like, we don't have to like stick around. Like, I don't have to like follow you for the next hour, but like, maybe let's exchange friend codes, maybe like jump into a party. And
I'm
then,
sure
like,
that is part of the intent of this.
Yeah, and that's super cool, and hopefully that works. But like, if the reward is just like 10 Pokeballs, like, I'll continue being antisocial. I don't need the 10 Pokeballs that much. But again, I think this could have a lot of potential to do what Niantic wants it to do, which is social interaction. But the rewards would have to be good, right?
I don't think I've seen anything about a medal that goes with it, but if there was a medal that goes with it, that could incentivize a little bit more if you don't need a few Pokeballs but want another platinum medal.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, it seems okay. There could probably be a whole other argument about maybe you should fix routes before you introduce a new feature, but hey, I got a Zygarde cell today.
I got a Zygarde cell today for the first time ever, and I didn't have to walk into the middle of a lake.
Woo!
So easy come, easy go. Last bit of news here, before we wrap up is we just didn't touch on the 4-year anniversary for Pokemon Masters now that it's out. A lot of that stuff is like slowly wrapping up in the next couple days, but they did the Neo Champion stuff of Red, Blue, Leaf. That was kind of like the big celebration. As of this recording, Phoebe and Cofagrigus are coming
They're
to
there.
Masters EX. They're
here.
now shifting away from. Oh, they're here now.
Yeah, and what? Who has Runerigus? What is her name?
Oh, I don't have that in front of me.
I cannot.
Morty. They like Morty.
No, no. I just pulled on it today.
Um.
Roxanne?
Oh,
Yeah,
I think
it's
you're right.
Roxanne.
I think it is Roxanne.
I think it's Roxanne. Roxanne and Runerigus.
So they're shifting away from their 4-year anniversary to their fall stuff. Also, I think this will end in a couple days, but they did a little bit of legend stuff with whoever the main character girl was for Legends. She had Samurott, and then the dude. They weren't like Dawn and Lucas, but they were like based off Dawn and Lucas.
Yeah, that storyline was kind of cute and weird.
The dude had Decidueye,
Yeah.
but no one had Typhlosion.
No.
Short end of the stick again for Gen 2.
The story of Don and Lucas meeting Reiki? I'm not having a name day today. But their whole thing of them running into each other and realizing that they look like each other and being like, why do you look like me? Like, they did it. They played with it. Look, the whole Hisui storyline in Masters is great. It's much better than what they've done in Scarlet and Violet, which is like, they just throw them in. Like, they've actually came through a space-time distortion. They're like actually talking about how things differently work, and they're trying to figure out what it all means. And the various people from the timeline are like in this new future where everything is different and how they interact with Pokemon. So there's been good storylines about how they deal with being in this world that is very, very different than where they were. So it was really charming. It's cute. Like, Masters is a good thing at making me care about all of the characters that had no personality in the game. Like, I know all of these gym leaders now where I'm like, oh, I like them because I take them to the smooching booth and we go on dates all the time.
Do you like it's so hard for me to put thoughts for the 4-year anniversary because I don't play that much, right? Like I'll log in, I'll get my daily gems.
I play every day.
So for me, it was like, okay, this is the event. I pulled on the characters. I pulled all 3. All right, I'll see you next event. Because I saved forever for these. It didn't feel like an anniversary, I guess. I mean, they gave the 3,000 gems. They gave the 100 free characters. The shocking thing is like, oh, Masters is 4 years old. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, the actual Neo event storyline did feel like a good Masters event. Like, them talking through, who these characters are and why the way they are. So I feel like you played the storyline event instead of just pulling on them. It did have the anniversary feel to it. Like, here's characters, we're building storyline. I think it's just old. It's just a 4-year-old game. Like, you're not. Those of us who play it are like, I play it for these characters now. Because that's what this game is me knowing who these people are, why they have these things, how they're interacting with the world, the storyline, like the whole villains arc. Like they've created their own unique Team Rocket event storyline that like got very invested in, and they did a whole bunch of things. So like, if you're heavily into the game's storyline, like I felt like it was a great anniversary event. Like the pairs made sense. They did them for a reason. The storyline was good. The Halloween event is good. They've done a lot of cute things, but I just think the blossoms off that flower. 4 years old. you know, they added 2 brand new types to the game, which was a huge thing. They added speed type and they added the speed type and they added the dual typing thing. So you're like an attack type with a tech bonus. You unlock it with the tech cake. So like they've made the game deeper, but like you really have to be invested in Masters, I think, to really get a lot out of the anniversary event at this point.
It's pretty settled into what it is.
Yeah, it knows what it is. It knows what it does. What it does is makes interesting pairings and tells a decent story. Just like we all know anniversary events now are for Unite are let's just completely destroy the meta with a legendary and then not fix it. That is our anniversary event.
I think the for my I have maybe like a unique perspective in the sense that like I will make a Masters video for YouTube like maybe once a month because I have DNA gives me a bunch of free gems. I get my daily gems. I'll do a video. DNA will be like, thanks for the video. Here's some more gems. Like, that's it. That's like the exchange. Just disclosure of that. But like when I put the video out, this and again, this is just a perspective thing. It always does bad. It does poorly. And so I look of like, okay, like Pokemon's a pretty big brand. This game is obviously a gacha game. There's nothing wrong with that. There's not a lot of Pokemon Master creators out there. Mm-hmm. But when you look at other gacha games, so for example, I was like, well, like Honkai Star Rail is what, like 6 months old now? And, it was just featured at Apple's keynote of being like this very popular game. It's featured in the App Store all the time. And you go to like I could just go to YouTube and type in Honkai Star Rail Gacha or Honkai Star Rail polls. And it's the same thing. It's the same YouTube video of like, hey, I got all these gems. Let's pull on the brand new character. Like, it's not that different of content. The difference is they have thousands of views. And like, even when you go back to Pokemon Masters 4 years ago, and you look at every big Pokemon YouTuber jumped on the Masters bandwagon because it was brand new, the views don't even compare to a Genshin Impact or a Honkai Star Rail. So I guess my perspective is like, how does Pokemon have such a huge influential brand and this game just doesn't seem like it hit the audience that it wants it to hit? Like Greg is 100% right. Gosh, I'm really pumping Greg up this episode.
Yeah, baby.
As in like Masters did this pivot of we want you to care about these gym leaders and we want you to care about these trainers, and we're gonna make these, in my opinion, really decent stories of these events. And maybe that's why I didn't feel like the 4-year anniversary was like that impactful to me, because I didn't get a chance to do the event because I was traveling in South Korea. But like, isn't that what Pokemon fan like gacha games are popular? And to have a Pokemon gacha game makes sense. So it's crazy to me that like a game like Honkai Star Rail, I'm not saying Honkai Star Rail is bad. Like, it got really good reviews. Like, Hoyoverse is very good at making gacha games, but you have to like, you have no clue who these characters are in Honkai without playing that game.
Yeah.
So you have to like, it feels like the barrier to entry is just so much higher for that game versus like a Pokemon game where the barrier to entry seems very low of like, I'm into gacha games. I really like Pokemon. This game is established. Like, why are my YouTube videos not getting views? That's the real story. But you know what I'm saying? Like, why are these other gacha games just blowing it out of the water?
One of the weird things is, unlike, I played Genshin Impact for a while, like the units that you pick really affect at how well you can play that game. And for Masters, unless you really want to go for the hardcore gameplay, which I don't think a lot of people do, the units just don't matter that. Like, pulling a new unit of a 4-star from a player perspective of getting through the content, that doesn't really matter. Like, what matters is the storyline, and having the appropriate characters for that storyline gets you better rewards, but they are by no means necessary to actually complete that storyline. Like, I have one Halloween unit. I have the Sableye unit. I can still get a ton of rewards for the entire Halloween event. I just don't get as many of them. But I can do the whole thing with what I have. So there's not as much excitement when you pull a banner of thinking this is going to radically change my game unless you're into the hard content. Like, going for the cake to unlock the tech spec of a striker is a high-end game thing that will never come up to 90% of the players. I'm doing it because it's just another thing I complete every day. And once I have it, I will probably unlock it, and that will be the extent of my interest in it. Because the units don't matter as much for gameplay. They matter for story, but they don't make pulling the unit necessary to complete the story. You don't have to have them. And it's just, I appreciate it on some level, but also it is weird from an outsider perspective, because a lot of the banners like, well, should you pull on this banner? And a lot of the answers like, I don't know, man. Do you like it? It's really not going to change your gameplay. Like, are you a hardcore player? Then yeah, like, this will fill in a gap. But otherwise, no. Like, the two Halloween things aren't particularly great, but people are pulling on them because they like, Phoebe and Roxana, and they think their outfits are cute. But again, I can do the entire Halloween event without them. I get to see them in the cutscene.
Know.
They're in the game.
I don't know how many people out there really like Roxanne. Come on. She has like a nose pass or whatever.
Not now. She's got a Rodriguez. Morty's got a hoe.
Hannah was, for the audio podcast listeners, Hannah was very...
Maybe a little bit offended. Maybe a little bit.
Yeah, it's not me complaining like my Masters video didn't do super well. It's just,
I just think the nature of pulling is vastly different in those two games, because pulling in Genshin Impact, pulling a top star character will really change your gameplay, and it just doesn't in Masters. It really doesn't.
Yeah, I would love to maybe like talk to somebody and have like a deeper conversation of like what the appeal of, just because like there's a going, like you can find YouTube videos, and I know YouTube is like very specific, but you can find YouTube videos of like, how do I play Masters better? How do I build a team to defeat this? How is this character worth pulling? And then then you can find simpler content I would do, which is like, hey, there's a new event. Did you pull that character? How many gems did you spend? It's very similar to like opening a pack of Pokemon cards, right? Like, it's very similar content of like, did they pull the Charizard from the Scarlet 151 set, right? Like, so there's like two types of content. But when you look at Honkai or whatever other gacha game, and it's that content of, I'm just pulling on the new character, new banner, and it has just 300 times the amount of views. And that's not even comparing to my channel. I could find a bigger Masters YouTube creator, and it's the same. It's like 300 times the amount of views. And it's like, you as a Honkai full-time YouTuber did not exist 6 months ago because that game didn't exist 6 months ago. So it's like, I want to know what the draw is in that specific gacha. Because I've watched people play Honkai. It's repetitive gameplay, right? Like, you go through, you do the same story loop, they add more content, but still, and there's nothing wrong with that. I get it. I played the gacha games. I understand that the gameplay is repetitive. You get better, you get faster, you get more rewards, you do your dailies. But something Hoyoverse is doing over there is really gravitating people and probably bringing more people in. And that's always a thing that's on the top of my head is like, you got a game that's 4 years old with a huge fan base that would fly to Amsterdam to get a plush, and you're not attracting an audience like a brand new franchise is from 6 months ago. So
especially for a game that is about collecting things.
You're right. Yeah, the
That's
series
the part that doesn't quite make sense to me.
I mean, I know a lot of people play it. I just like when they have co-op things. You are never waiting long. You just say, find me people to play with. You are never waiting long. There are people always playing that game. It's just I don't know that the audience of people playing that game is the same, has the same interest in content about that game as other, perhaps more provocative, shall we say, games and character models.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I understand. So you're saying if they put Giovanni in a swimsuit, that more people will play?
Possibly. I mean,
it's you could also apply the same logic I'm using for Masters versus Honkai to Unite versus like League of Legends or Dota 2 or whatever other MOBAs are popular right now. I'm not sure.
I'm curious to just see, like, which we'll never get, like, what is their actual breakdown of people playing the game? Because they've been going for 4 years. They've been going very strong. Their gem prices are still outrageous, but I look at people and they buy them. I mean, I did buy the super discounted gem pack for this house. I'm like, it's been 4 years. I should give them some money finally. So I bought a gem pack. But just one. Look, don't push me. It was $23. Like, that's all you're getting out of me, kids.
That was a lot of gems,
fair.
though. I remember seeing that pack. That was a lot of gems.
It was a lot of gems. It was a good deal. But I'm curious what the breakdown is, because I know a lot of people are playing the game, but I can't tell you. Like, I have zero interest in watching other people pull. Like, I just don't. I have zero desire to watch that content because I also just pulled them all on my own.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a little bit easier now to pull on your own to see things, and I don't know. I'm curious to see what their breakdown of demographics is, because they are clearly going strong. They clearly had a lot of people playing the game. They clearly have, like, they do all their events. They make their money. I just curious, like you said, what the difference in the audience is that doesn't seek out that content.
Yeah, I just think it's interesting.
Yeah.
That, like, you would just assume that a Pokemon gacha game about collecting trainers would feel like it was more impactful in the gaming space. And that's not to say Masters is bad. Like, I enjoy it when I play it. I think it was kind of bad when it started.
Oh, it's terrible when it started.
And they made it better.
Yeah.
And it's incredibly deep and complicated if you want it to be.
If you want it to be. You want
and
to
at
have
the same
cute
time,
stories?
You can ignore a lot of that stuff. So, yeah, I maybe it's just more of a conversation of, like, Hoyoverse is doing something on another level to attract people in. Maybe they have 3 games. Obviously Genshin and then Star Rail. But again, the Pokemon brand is
I'm also
strong.
curious what's going to happen to Genshin and 40. You know, I'm also curious what's going to happen to Star Rail 40. You know, the one that was really, really great that I played all the time, Dragalia Lost, closed. Like, they did 4 years.
Oh, that was the Nintendo one.
Yeah, and they're like, okay, well, we're done.
I think that was, like, what, 3 years before they threw in the towel?
Yeah, it was 3.5. I mean, I could still launch the app. I don't think anything's happening in it. But, like, I'm curious what happens to those games at the same time period. Are they still going to be running as strong? Because Masters is running on full full engines, full steam ahead. New stuff's coming out on a real great clip. They're pumping money in. They're pumping characters in. Like, they are definitely making money much more than a lot of gacha games do it for you. It's just, I'm curious, like, there's such a difference in their audience and what we're looking for versus what we're looking for in other things. It is definitely an interesting topic to sort of ponder. But like, it is the longest running gacha game that I've played other than Final Fantasy Brave Exit? Is that what the B stands for? What? That's been going on forever. But that's because Final Fantasy fans are rabid. So
Oh yeah, they're committed.
They're like, give me a new Yestola.
Well, hey, if you play a lot of gacha games and you're watching on YouTube, comment below if you play Genshin, or if you play Genshin and Masters, or if you just play Masters, or maybe you play another gacha game that's like existed for like 5 years that we haven't heard about. I'm just curious of like what is the overlap of like Star Rail / Genshin and Masters players, or maybe like. No, I know so many people who play both Genshin and Star Rail. I don't think it's like a limit of like one gacha game. I knew a person that played 7 gacha games at one point. There's like a Digimon gacha game too, I think.
There's the Digimon one now.
Yeah. I think I played that for like 2 days and I was like, this is too much. Although I do like Digimon. Anyways, thanks for making it to the end.
Hey, I finished Detective Pikachu.
Yeah, we're going to talk about it next week.
I'm going to give you my rating now. That game's overpriced.
We will talk about Detective Pikachu next week. I'm going to try to play through it on Twitch. I'm going to try to play through it in one sitting. Greg said that's going to be very impossible.
You are not going to be able to do that. Good luck.
What if I just start at like 8 a.m. with a cup of coffee?
Okay, I'll see you on Thursday when you finish.
I gotta go in and change text speed to fast, right?
Oh, like... God. Good luck. Good luck.
Yeah, we'll talk about Detective Pikachu next week. So, look, I'm gonna assume that there's 3 types of people out there. Number 1, the people who have already bought and played through Detective Pikachu. Number 2, the people who just want to watch somebody play Detective Pikachu so they can save their $50. And no, 4 types of people. Number 3 would be somebody that has no interest in this game whatsoever. And number 4 would be like the very rare, I want it, but I gotta wait till Christmas. Like,
yeah.
There's no one that's like maybe on the fence of getting it, right? Like you probably either got it at launch or you're just like, I'm just gonna watch a YouTube playthrough or a Twitch playthrough and save $50, which is totally fair.
Very fair for this. It is overpriced. Badly overpriced.
Yeah, I think it was 50.
Yeah, it's already less than a normal Switch game.
Yeah, and it's overpriced.
Yeah. I got a TikTok of like an old like Sears catalog ad for Christmas. And I went through it and I was like, man, I feel like I remember this catalog. But the thing I didn't remember is there were like Nintendo 64 games that were $70.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember that.
Oh, yeah.
Like there was also one that was like Sega Genesis. Mortal Kombat for the Sega Genesis was $70.
Oh, yeah.
It was unreal. It's actually crazy to me that video games are still like around the $60 to $70 price range, because I feel like they should be more, especially when, like, I mean, a gallon of milk is like $30 at this point. So
right.
Like,
there is that.
Look, I'm not saying the thing should be inflated. It's just weird to me that,
for
like,
people, if you're like me and you grew up only buying Pokemon games for the most part, those were on handheld, and so it was $30, $40 for a very long time. 60 still feels like a lot.
Yeah,
that's true.
I mean, I started back with the Atari, and Atari 2600 was like $150 for the base for the player, and then each game was like $25. So like, and that thing couldn't do much. So like, prices are just what, like ColecoVision, I remember, was super expensive. We really, really wanted one, and we were like, please, 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 please. And they're like, it's the only thing you're getting if we get this because it's really pricey, and the games were expensive.
So the first Detective Pikachu was like what, $40 because it was a 3DS game. Maybe it was like 35, but probably 40. I don't remember. So this one's 50. Do you think it would have been 40? Should 40 is the price, or do you think cheaper?
Should have stayed at 35.
Wow.
But you finished it.
I did.
And
all right,
it
we'll
is
talk
long.
about it next week.
Okay.
We'll talk about it next week.
Well, it's long.
It's
Sure
not like
is.
you paid $50 and you were done in 2 hours.
I do not think it is possible with the pace of that game to be done in 2 hours.
All right. Well, we'll be find out next week. You won't believe what next week's podcast will entail. So I guess maybe if you don't want to be spoiled about Detective Pikachu, maybe play it in the next week. I'm not saying we're going to spoil the whole game, but we're going to have thoughts.
Just if you have zero interest, just watch them play it. It's literally going to be the same experience.
I did that for the first one in the last week. I watched it for 3 hours.
Yeah, you can do it.
They beat the game in 3 hours?
Yeah. Well, they condensed all of the scenes, all of the clips, so it was like a 3-hour movie of Detective Pikachu.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I've done that before
sense.
for games. Got it. Okay, we'll be back next week. Thanks for making it to the end. Thanks for listening. If you're on Apple Podcast or Spotify, feel free to review, because the Slack likes to see your reviews come in. And so whether you say something mean or not, it still gets posted, and then they criticize it. Mostly in a good way. Yeah. But they're usually making fun of me anyway, so it's fine. I'm used to it. You buy enough $100 metal Pokeballs, and you just get comments about...
When is the luxury ball hitting?
I don't know. I don't know when the luxury ball's coming out. But let me tell you, people have very wild thoughts from a 20-second video about how you spend your money and live your life. They got to share it.
Well, live better. Live right.
Yeah, I'm living my best life. Joke's on them. The more comments, the more pennies I get from TikTok. All right. We'll be back next week. Thanks for listening. Thank you, Hannah. Thank you, Greg. This has been another episode of the Pokemon Podcast, and we are
super effective.
Super, just because a gym leader is from Gen 4 or Gen 3, but Roxanne's from 4, doesn't mean they're bad.
They're
effective.
Not bad.
Roxanne is not a bad gym leader.
I don't think Roxanne's in the smooching simulator.
That's the problem. No
Giovanni is, though, and that's a whole new kettle of fish.
Is he wearing a swimsuit?
No, he's wearing his Team Rocket suit, but not his Nidoking suit. But you can put him in his Nidoking suit and send him to a beach. And he wanders around with a bunch of other people. That game's weird. I love it.